Here we are in the midst of a new year, folks, and 50% of Smash Bros. Second Fighters Pass has been revealed and released. We're just coming off the heels of Sephiroth's official release to the game, which was just a little over a week ago now. But he's nearly been playable for about 2 weeks because they ran that Sephiroth challenge for a few days between December 17th and the 22nd. So I'm going to take this time now to briefly cover Sephiroth's inclusion in Smash and how it really continues this chain of unpredictability that Volume 2 has been holding to. Because you see, Sephiroth was revealed at the Game Awards this year, and he was a big game changer for multiple reasons. First is, he's the first ever third-party villain to ever be included in Smash Bros. The reason that this is significant is for the fact that he's the first and perhaps only villainous inclusion that is not actually owned by Nintendo themselves. Look at the decent list of villains we have, from series mainstays like Bowser and Ganondorf to the newcomers of Ultimate like Ridley and King K. Rool. All of the villainous inclusions in this game, rightly, are from Nintendo's own catalog. All now, except for Sephiroth. And I will go on record to say that he is going to be the only character to hold down this rare exception, to make his presence in the game all that more staggering and all the more special. Not only does he check a character inclusion that is unrepresented, but he's also the first non-Echo newcomer from a third-party series already included in Smash. Not only the same franchise, but the exact same game, as both Sephiroth and Cloud are from Final Fantasy VII, which you can practically say is the most popular game in the franchise, and both characters are quite high on the old recognizability scale. Helps that Final Fantasy VII was popular enough to warrant a remake game that was also a big deal this year, and I really don't think that remake is the reason for Sephi's inclusion, but rather, it's on the merit of him being one of, if not the most well-known, JRPG villain of all time. In fact, Advent Children in particular was given a lot of love with Sephiroth's inclusion. In fact, he's pretty much based on his appearance from that movie, as well as a skin that's based on his final boss form from the original, OG, Final Fantasy VII. But with this inclusion does come some glaring disconfirmation of Square niche favorite Geno, who was a returning Mii costume along with Sephiroth's patch. To the surprise of no one, to be fair. But what was surprising is despite all of the fanfare that Geno has had over the years, his costume was not upgraded, and it was the same one that returned from the Wii U days. All Geno fans felt like the scum of the earth when that was shown off. But perhaps what's most upsetting of all is the disconfirmation of Sora with this inclusion. I know a lot of the Sora fan base is going to say, oh, well, it's a Disney negotiation. Sora could still feasibly be on the table, but I don't see it. Never has there been two inclusions from the same developer or creator that's third party. I mean, outside of Nintendo. Obviously, all the Nintendo created characters are created by them. I'm talking strictly third parties here. Initially, I think Nintendo wanted Sora, since he's perhaps the most highly requested character among both the East and the West, almost evenly between the two regions. He is a Tetsuya Nomura created character, and I am of firm belief that he was intended to be this inclusion, but the attempted negotiations with Disney fell through. But Sakurai and company thought, well, who else is Nomura created that's super popular? And they went back to the drawing board and decided on Sephiroth. So, he's a game changer in this Fighter's Pass after Minecraft Steve was also a game changer and rocked the block over 2 months ago, and even after ARMS surprisingly got a DLC fighter. And also, none of these characters leaked before they were revealed, or so we thought. But as of last week, and about maybe half a week before that, week and a half we'll say, an interesting and usually suspect and complete bullshit text leak from 4chan has arisen and has been christened with some new life, if you will. Usually, I am 100% dismissive of these leaks as they pop up every day and never lead to a single legitimate thing in terms of future Smash DLC. It might have got some stuff lucky or right on the base roster, but for DLC, it's been largely wrong all the time. But this one that I'm going to talk about is significant for one big reason. And that reason was it accurately predicted half of the second Fighter's Pass before any of the characters were revealed. On a post that was dated May 12th, 2020, the anonymous leaker posted a list of characters he nudged at being the entire lineup for Fighter's Pass Volume 2. The list and order of the characters he posted were as follows: Min Min or Ninjara, Ryu Hayabusa, Doomguy, Rayman, Sephiroth, and Steve. 3 of those characters have thus far come to fruition. So if this guy is a hack and he only kind of guessed at some stuff and made a fake leak, then that's a hell of a lucky guess to manage getting half of the field correct. Again, there's always the chance that this very well could be the case. But still, half of them being right is such an eyebrow-raising thing that I had to mention it in this video. So, we're going to discuss the possibility of this being right and how I feel about these 3 characters being the potential final 3 for Smash Bros. DLC. Let's begin with Rayman, who's the character that intrigues and pleases me the most of this alleged leaked final 3. I believe, in my personal heart of hearts, that platforming characters happen to translate the best for this game. There's a reason that they always do well with Dream Smash character polls. They just thrive when they are realized to their potential as fighters in Smash Bros. Just look at the likes of Mario, Mega Man, and Banjo and Kazooie. Before Steve's reveal in October, I genuinely felt that Rayman was the character of Western origin that had the best chance of making the second Fighters Pass. Then after Steve, I've been wondering if another Western rep is even possible at all. The fact that this Fighters Pass has 1 extra Challenger Pack this time around, it has 6 instead of the last one which had 5, this one has an extra, that leaves a bit of room for a wild card of sorts, and that means that there could be the presence of a second Western Challenger Pack here in Volume 2. However, according to this leak, there are actually 2 Western characters that are incoming, allegedly. If you want more opinions on how I think Rayman would function in Smash, you can check out my top 5 Ubisoft characters video from back in May for more of that speculation. I'll link it in the description. So, Rayman would, according to this leak, be the final upgraded spirit as well after Min Min. He would be the only third-party spirit to receive this upgrade to playable status. And I don't think any Ubisoft character would fit better in Smash Bros., and this inclusion would rock my proverbial socks off. Honestly, I go over this leak with the biggest grain of salt possible, but Rayman and Ultimate, that in itself gets the old Bracer stamp of approval. Let's keep the platform and icons coming. Next on our list of leaked fighters is none other than Ryu Hayabusa. For well over a year now, much like Crash Bandicoot has been, Hayabusa has seemingly been a lock for a DLC spot, but with every Challenger Pack that's come and gone, it's never him who shows up. After E3 last year, many assumed he'd be Challenger Pack 4, and that ended up being Terry. And then when Byleth was revealed after Terry, the idea was, well, Hayabusa is surely a lock for Volume 2, but half the field has been revealed and released, and there is still no sign of Ryu Hayabusa. Now, of course, he's always still possible, and the fact that he is of Japanese origin will automatically make his chances better than, say, Rayman's, but I'm starting to think his chances are becoming quite overrated at this point, and people just assume he's going to be in because of Koei Tecmo and Nintendo's great relationship that they have, and of course his heritage of being an NES legacy character, and you know, those are all very valid reasons to bring up. I'm not discrediting them. Honestly, it's just getting to the point where, like Crash Bandicoot, everyone expects him as the next character, and it just never ends up being him. But should Koei Tecmo actually get a character in this second pass, it's going to be absolutely nobody else but Ryu Hayabusa. And due to his crossover appearances in Dead or Alive, Hayabusa is going to come with a bunch of tracks from that game, as well as his own home series of Ninja Gaiden. All the spirits as well that's going to be related to both of those series. If any character that's going to get the big old company legacy treatment like Terry got for SNK, it's probably going to be Ryu Hayabusa for Koei Tecmo. That's for damn sure. Last to discuss on this leaked characters list is the recent fan favorite request from the West, Doomguy. You see, ever since that seemingly fake 5-channel leak from around the time when Joker was first confirmed as the very first Challenger Pack, many people seen the presence of Doomguy on this list. I give you a visual representation for the visual you see in front of you here. And they seen this list, and immediately the community ended up fantasizing on how the grandfather of first-person shooters would function in Smash over the course of 2019 to present, and over those last 2 years, the Doomslayer has become one of the most requested characters for Smash DLC today. And really, I understand the appeal of seeing Sakurai realize a first-person shooter protagonist into Smash Bros., but as far as that concept actually coming to fruition, this is where I remain skeptical. You can bring up Snake all you want, but he's more of a stealth character than a run-and-gun dude from an FPS franchise. Not to mention, among FPS pro tags, Doomguy may be the most violent one of them all. He rips and tears. So how much nerfing of his core themes would need to be done to incorporate him in Smash Brothers? Now, if it comes to a character from the FPS genre that represents it to the fullest and has loads of Nintendo history, then Doomguy checks all of the necessary boxes. Doom has had releases on many Nintendo systems over the years, including that of on the Super Nintendo. Not to mention all the great music tracks that would come with the Slayer. I'm skeptical of first-person shooter pro tags ever making it into Smash Brothers, but if there was ever an E3 level reveal, it would be the Doomguy Challenger Pack for Fighters Pass Volume 2. So, to sum it all up, folks, Rayman would be a character I'd love to see, and he's somewhat in competition with Crash over a potential second Western character and a new classic platforming icon being added to the ranks of Smash. A welcomed addition according to my own personal taste for character inclusions. And then we have Ryu Hayabusa, who is a great candidate for a third-party legacy character who could represent Koei Tecmo as a whole, with tracks, spirits, and a stage derived from both Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive. However, he is now in this odd spot of being a character that we always expect and promptly never shows up. Then, last of all, is the grandfather of first-person shooters, Doomguy, with tons of Nintendo history and has the intrigue of having Sakurai realize his kin into Smash Brothers just to see how it could possibly work. But at the same time, he's a candidate that could just be too damn violent for this family party game. All three are third-party characters, and two of which of Western origin, which would bring the total Western character count of this pass up to 3. So 50% of the field is non-Japanese. That just seems a little too good to be true for me. 2 is possible, but I'm really not sure about 3 whole characters making up half this pass. But only time will tell. Now, moving on. For the last segment of this video, I've decided to go all in on the final 3 concept. And I'm going to give a bold 3-character prediction where I think this pass is going to go in terms of inclusions. Originally, in the beginning, this was just going to be a video talking about Sephiroth and how much of a game changer his addition to Smash Brothers was. But the more I thought about it and decided to put this thing together with the leak from back in May that started gaining more traction for speculation talk, and then I kind of thought more and decided, how about I just kind of give my own predictions on the final 3 and give it a knack myself? Because with my second semester of university coming up in less than a week's time, I don't know how free I'm going to be. I couldn't even get a Challenger Pack 8 prediction video out before the Game Awards. So let's get into gear to 2021 the right way, and that is the Smash speculation way. So I'm going to start off with the character that I think is next, but I'm also going to acknowledge that had I been able to get a video out to predict the Challenger Pack that Sephiroth took up, this character would have been my prediction for Challenger Pack 8. So really, make note of this so that you can give credit that I'm either going to be 2 times wrong in terms of this, or at least I get to be like semi-right. So it's like I could be double the wrong, but like half the right? So anyway, the character I predict for Challenger Pack 9 is Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. The only remaining Mii costume from Wii U that is not returned via an Ultimate Challenger Pack update. I know Bandai Namco isn't guaranteed to get another character just because they've aided in the development for the base game and the DLC that has followed. But I do find the absence of Lloyd's costume very suspicious, just as I was for Geno's, but as we know, that ended up returning alongside Sephiroth. You see, Lloyd's costume remaining absent has me feeling he's going to be in this pass. And I believe that Tails is a very, like, if Bandai Namco's going to get anything, that's going to be the series that gets represented. Not Dark Souls, not nothing else. We all know another RPG character is nearly a given, and it would once again be an inclusion for a series that is brand new to Smash Brothers, in terms of not only a playable fighter, but also the inclusion of a stage and related spirits and music tracks. Pac-Man's felt kind of alone being the lone Bamco rep, and I think Tails is going to be that inclusion for them, that long-awaited second inclusion for them as a company. Of course, they could always go with Yuri Lowell from Tales as well, Tales of Vesperia, but Lloyd is seen as the definitive Nintendo protagonist of the series. And again, He's the only Mii costume that's missing up to this point. That has to be for a reason. Perhaps not the most exciting character from a moveset or even design perspective, but hey, he does wield duo swords, and I don't think that's ever been done yet by any of the current cast, so at least he's got that going for him. But yeah, I'll just end off with saying that Lloyd is 100% my prediction for the next Challenger Pack, and I'm expecting this next pack to be revealed and released sometime by the end of this first quarter here in 2021. So we shall see then. Moving on to my prediction for Challenger Pack 10. This is the second last character of this next half of Volume 2, and I'm thinking that this Challenger Pack is going to be saved for an E3 level reveal. I've heard that there were plans to do some kind of E3 this year after last year's was cancelled, and considering we had a pandemic Game Awards last month, it's not all that crazy of an idea to ponder that they might do the same thing with E3. So, with the magnitude of an E3 level reveal in mind, I have no other choice but to once again include Crash Bandicoot for this spot. I know, as I mentioned earlier in this video, Crash has fallen into the Ryu Hayabusa territory, where everyone thinks he's a given for the next Challenger Pack, and it never ends up being him. But I will explain my reasons for this inclusion, and I guess give reason to why I'm hanging on to this idea for a third straight prediction video that could ultimately strike out for the third and final time. First off, with E3 canceled this year, I feel they intended that to be the event in which they initially revealed Steve for Smash Ultimate, but since it was canceled, they made the decision to reveal him the same month they intended to release him, like they did with Min Min before him and Sephiroth after him as well. But still, Sephiroth got a Game Awards reveal. They could stick to the same formula if E3 comes to fruition in June. And what is that formula, you ask? Well, the formula is revealing the very popular Western character at perhaps the biggest Western gaming event of the year, and then release him within 2 weeks after the reveal, in June, like all the Volume 2 characters who have come before Crash. Now, we could go back to the first pass, and you could say, well, Banjo and Kazooie weren't released the same month they were revealed, but they were still the E3 reveal, and it was one of the most beloved DLC reveals that Ultimate has done so far. Had Steve gotten revealed at E3, I think it might have even been bigger than the way it was done. And let's not forget that the way they revealed him anyway ended up crashing Twitter. Here we have entered into 2021 with half the second pass remaining, and E3 is still tentatively scheduled for June. So that means there will be one final E3 reveal for Smash DLC. I think Sephiroth's inclusion is it for Square characters, and his inclusion has unfortunately put an axe to Sora's, who would have been the perfect candidate to get shown off for E3. Doomguy lingers as a potential candidate as well, but I don't think first-person shooters are getting any representation in Smash. And I'll only believe it when I see it, much like what happened with Steve back in October. So with all that in mind, who does that leave? Character who is perfect for this level of a reveal is Crash Bandicoot. He's a character whose own series was revealed itself at E3 many moons ago back in 1996, and he is among one of the most requested characters for Ultimate today. He is as relevant as he's ever been, coming off a series of successful remakes and a sequel titled Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, which released last fall for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and is rumored to be getting a release to the Nintendo Switch perhaps sometime this year. What a place it would be to announce both Crash's inclusion to Smash and the Switch release of Crash 4 at the very event where the Bandicoot made his own start, and could very well be the event where he joins the cast of Everyone Is Here. This is a prediction that's completely reliant on E3 still happening this year. So if it doesn't, then that does throw a bit of a monkey wrench into my prediction. But I think they will find a way to pull it off like they did with the Game Awards, just to be a pandemic version of E3, and it could very well be just 6 months away. Now for my final prediction on the final character of all for Smash Ultimate's Fighters Pass Volume 2 is perhaps my most daring and even controversial pick of the bunch. But it's just another goofy dude driving YouTube speculation and nothing more, nothing less. I'm far from the Nostradamus of YouTube. If you've been following my stuff, I did the infamous Steve goof where I said he would never be in, and a month later he made it. So definitely also far from a legitimate leaker. I just like to drive discussion. That's all, people. That's all it is. So, without further ado, my prediction for Challenger Pack 11 is none other than Waluigi. Now, before you all start spamming the what the fucks and this, that, and wow, could you put this, and blah, 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 what are you thinking, Brayster? Just hear me out. Who got the biggest reaction to being snubbed from the base game when he was shown off to be an assist trophy? Who's the only major Mario side character that's appeared in multiple games? I mean, they may be sports related, but he's appeared a lot throughout the last 20 years. Who isn't featured in Smash yet? And who is the one name that people constantly bring up when it comes to an assist trophy or two being upgraded? That's right. It's the evil purple Luigi himself, Waluigi. The reason for this final prediction is simple. Nintendo saves the one and only assist trophy upgrade for last, and they bookend this pass with characters from their own catalog and ownership. Beginning the second pass with Min Min from ARMS as the only spirit upgrade, and also a first-party character, then ending with Waluigi, whom, unlike Min Min, has a pretty decent outcry from the Smash fandom for his inclusion. And with his inclusion, we will break the one final fan rule of assist trophies can't be upgraded. And may I repeat again, he's first party, because I feel at least one more Nintendo-owned first-party character is going to happen. And this was my best-case scenario should it come to fruition. After a majority of third-party guests in between, Nintendo will end on a character to shock the system from their own library, so to speak, and give fans one last huge demand out of their own pocket rather than from another third-party company. Nintendo has the cake and eats it too in this scenario, but I just see something unpredictable like this happening before the end of this second pass, before it's all said and done. Waluigi, Challenger Pack 11. You proved me right, Sakurai. Please, prove me right. Also, one last final note. All characters, with the exception of my wildcard choice of Waluigi, were all on a leaked list of characters that Nintendo has allegedly made Sakurai and the Namco team choose from. All characters from the first Fighters Pass are clearly visible on this list, including the names of the two distinct skins of Hero based on the Luminari and Erdrick. All third-party characters who have made it into the DLC are all clearly visible on this list, which was allegedly leaked by a Namco worker back in the spring of 2019. One glaring omission is Min Min, who was the first character from the second pass, but as I said, with this one, there's certainly room for a few wild cards to say the least. Just some parting food for thought for all of you viewers. Who do you all think is going to fill the rest of the second Fighters Pass? Do you think the leak from May has any validity? Or did some person just happen to get incredibly lucky with half the field? Also, do you agree with any of the three characters I put in my own personal predictions list? Yes, no, Brayster, just give up on these videos already? Give up on your predictions? Also, how are you all enjoying Sephiroth and Smash Ultimate so far? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we move on to this time of the video again, where you can see by the lovely little graphic in front of you, there is a list to all of my social media and gaming presences. So please add and follow me on all of those platforms to stay as up to date as you can with all of my content going forward. And for the few of you who may be new to this channel and enjoyed what you've seen and heard through this video, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, give the video a rating, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel grow. And until next time, this is Brayster, signing off.